Here, made it back just in time. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the DFS Dose YouTube channel. Today, we are doing our final stream into this $5.55 Drafters Early Best Ball Championship, 6K to first. Chasing that overlay, we've been doing it for the past couple of weeks. Look, fear not. These streams are not going to end. We're just going to be taking a little break after this tournament, recalibrate, readjust our rankings. Joey's, going on a vacation, going to be rubbing his gross toes in the sand and shit. So it's going to be a little break, and then we're going to be back drafting best ball all offseason long. Joey, 102, what are you thinking?
Thinking Dalvin Cook here. This will be my first share of Dalvin Cook. So can't go wrong with Dalvin. So
not bad, not bad. What do we got? So I see some regulars. We got Stevie. He's been in these a couple times. Kwasi, standard. He's always up in these. We got JM with his 149th entry, second to last. That's big. And I'm going to make a pick that I've made about 100 times, and it's Saquon Barkley. He keeps falling to me at 1.5, 1.6, and I'll take that all day, every day. Giants picked up his fifth-year option today. It's a vibe.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty easy move for the Giants.
Yeah,
he's either the best or the second best running back in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So, all right, now's a waiting game. This is why I kind of don't like having early picks. Is I just hate waiting. I'm so impatient. But you get an elite RB1 if you get one of the first 5 picks. So.
Got this guy Ryan Wren, his first draft, and he gets the first pick. That's what you call running hot, dude. I've done 57 of these joints. I think I've had it twice.
I mean, but it's good to see new users up in here that don't have a lot of entries like some of these guys in the lobby, like JM, obviously, Kwasi, Stevie. I mean, all of these guys are always in the lobby, so it's nice to have some fresh blood in the water here with Ryan. Hopefully he drafts a monster. But I don't know. I don't think I have too high of hopes for a guy that I've never seen in the lobby, obviously.
Maybe he watches the stream and he's
hopefully
some fire.
Hopefully
he snipes you a couple times for the memes.
That'd be funny. All
Joe
right.
Mixon 2-3. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
There's that nice YouTube video that we just posted. The second part of our draft prop podcast up on YouTube right now. If you want to go watch that after this stream, obviously, we talk about the special draft props. Will Trevor Lawrence hug his wife or his dad first? Will a team trade out of their first round pick in the top 10, like the Falcons or the Lions or the Panthers? So make sure you go check that out. The link is in the comments. So
is Jimmy G going to be alive on Sunday? Find out the answer soon.
I think he'll probably be alive. just a hunch.
JM saying, "What up, boys in the chat? What up?" Oh boy, JM. I know he's maxing this joint out. He's only got one more. You can't not max it out at that point. Got to go all the way. Big tight end guy over here.
Hey, I gotta get my exposure to these top guys. So
yeah,
I have 0 Kelsey. It is what it is right now. Probably try and get a share or two of him in these next couple of drafts that we're gonna do. But how many
do you think you're gonna max out at?
2. So Ian just put in the YouTube chat that it's 200 max entries. It was 200, but Ben just informed me that it's actually 150 now. So they've been changing the line. They've been changing the line.
129. So yeah, I mean, drafters kind of bugging with that low key, but it is what it is. Yeah, opened at 129, then it was 200, and then they realized that that's illegal to have more than 150 in a DFS GPP. So I think they realized that mistake quickly, went back to 150.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you know,
very illegal. So
I wasn't going to say anything.
Hey.
The real question is, did anybody get more than 150 in before they changed it? That's what we really got to find out.
I mean, I think if they did get more than 150, their entries after 150 would be canceled, if I had to guess.
I mean, that would be the fair thing, right?
Like refunded, obviously, you would get your money back, but that's what I think would happen. But I don't know if I've seen anybody even close to 150 besides JM.
There's a
I've
couple.
I've seen a lot of people in the hundreds. Haven't seen anybody in the in the 140s, 150s personally. Yeah. They've been changing the finish line a little bit over on their end, which is
Yeah.
I mean,
it is what it is.
yeah. All right. So I went with Justin Jefferson as my wide receiver 1. So I get a little mini Vikings stack with Cook and JJ. That was my first share of Justin Jefferson, so kind of one of the reasons why I picked him. And
Going to be,
I think,
zoning in on Kirk Cousins, say around 12-ish, around that range.
maybe around 15. Nah, but yeah, I think after Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf would be a tier break. Maybe include Keenan in there. I just think those guys have serious upside this year. Overall,
DK Metcalf is definitely in that tier as well. He went at 3.8, which is the latest I've seen him go. I mean, it was between him and Waller for me at 3.5, but kind of like you said, I want some exposure to these top tier tight ends. I have almost no Kelsey and I have almost no Waller. I have taken a decent amount of George Kittle, but I do want to up my exposure to both of those other elite guys. So
yeah,
Waller, and I love what it lets you do with your rosters, right? And I mean, you and I are going to be on the same page with these two teams. Having taken Kittle and Waller, we're going to be looking at 2 tight end builds, and I think that allows you a little bit of flexibility to draft a 6th running back or even a 10th wide receiver. So
yeah, definitely agree with that. Dude with the first pick drafted Michael Thomas at the end of the 2nd round. I mean, that's clear cut inexperience, hasn't been in drafts because Michael Thomas is going like right here and not right there.
I mean, he's going closer to the back end. I don't think he would have lasted to 4.
Oh, not till 410, but I mean, his ADP is 4th round for sure.
Sometimes you got to be bold at the turns, but yeah, I mean, God.
I mean,
I don't know if I would.
That's a little too bold with Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf still on the board and even Keenan Allen. But
fuck. I wanted J-Rob so bad, man. Oh, that's pain.
Pure pain.
That is pure pain.
Sorry, you got a choice of a couple of wide receivers.
Going hard on RB. Give me some Travis Etienne. Watch the Bills trade up and get him, and that's just absolutely selling the money. He'll be a 2nd round pick about 5 days from now.
I mean, there's definitely some likelihood that he does end up in Buffalo. I will say that. But some people have also mocked him to the Jags as well, reuniting him with Trevor Lawrence. So, God, see, this is the range where it's like I don't
like respect on Mike Evans' name, man. Dude does nothing but go for 1,000 yards. No, not a big Mike Evans guy.
We'll go with CeeDee Lamb as my wide receiver too. Get 2 sophomore stud wide receivers. I like Mike Evans. I don't know. I never draft him, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat, but I
don't really have much to say. Like
in the 5th, though, I mean, I guess you could be looking at Evans, or you could be going Adam Thielen for the full blown super Viking stack. I don't know how you feel about that.
I gotta go with Mike. I gotta go with Big Mike right there.
I think that's probably the right pick.
Yeah. So, I mean, he has touchdown upside, but there is obviously a lot of mouths to feed on that Tampa Bay offense. But he's still one of the best wide receivers over the last 5-6 years in the NFL. Probably going to be a Hall of Famer when it's said and done. Like his stats are just phenomenal. I think he's gone over 1,000 yards in every single season that he's been in the NFL.
He has.
So
Mahomes goes 5'3", Godwin 5'4". I need to get a wide receiver here.
I mean, but this is a good range to actually get your first wide receiver, because these guys that are left, like Woods, Thielen, Higgins, Deontay, Kenny Golladay, I think one of them can finish as a wide receiver 1 for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with an exposure pick. I think Kenny Galladay's upside is a little bit higher than Robert Woods, but I have like over 20% Kenny G at this point. So 57 drafts deep, I am definitely looking at things like ownership and exposure just to differentiate myself a little bit in the potential builds that I come out with. So, Kenny G is the pick that I would have gone with, about 20 drafts ago when I was building my core. But at this point, I'm definitely looking to diversify.
I like it. Can't talk. I like Woods a lot this year, especially with Stafford incoming. I like a lot of these wide receivers that are still on the board. To be honest, I think this is where the value is, especially if you go running back early. Just hammer wide receivers in these mid rounds, and then you can get guys with, overall wide receiver, like not overall, but wide receiver 1 upside.
Yeah, top 15. I mean, I'm sure at least 3-4 of these guys are going to finish top 15. So
yeah, 1,000,000%.
Thielen at 5'9". How do you feel about Thielen? He's a guy that I have almost no exposure to. I don't know. Once these wide receivers hit a certain age and they're not attached to stone elite quarterbacks, it's really hard for me to draft them. I look at Thielen that way. I look at Julio that way. I don't know.
I mean, he's not the sexy pick, right? He's going to be the guy that will probably finish as a top 20 wide receiver. He kind of gets disrespected in terms of the wide receiver pool out there. And I think that he is a candidate to be a wide receiver 1 if he plays a full season. Maybe kind of not anymore, or I don't know, maybe with Justin Jefferson, that'll be a hard task for him. But I still think he's a top 18 wide receiver. Great red zone threat. Sure hands. Kirk Cousins trusts him. That's a very big key, I think, and he's an integral part of the Vikings offense. So it's the big 3 guys over there, and nobody else is going to get the ball besides Irv Smith too.
Yeah, and I mean, you even look at last year. I mean, the perception was that JJ took over, right? But he only averaged 0.2 more fantasy points per game. Both him and Jefferson were top 12 in fantasy points per game at the wide receiver position. Myles Gaskin going in the 6th. I was thinking I might luck into him. He's another player that, really since our last stream, I've been trying to up my exposure to. And God, I mean, I feel just so lucky to get Kenny G at 6'6". Yeah, I don't know what people's problem is. That's crazy.
Kenny G's a value.
I'll take it. I mean, I would have taken him 10 picks earlier. So,
I mean, I'm kind of hoping that Ayuk falls to me. Probably won't.
Why you're looking to draft Mac Jones late? Get that 49ers stack?
Nah, Mac Jones is not going to the 49ers. Shout out to Kwasi for that. Yeah.
Definitely stream sniped you 100%. I mean, you got some values here. I love Cup in this range.
Yeah, I don't think I have any Cup, so I'm going to take Cup here as my wide receiver 4 if this wants to load. Yep, give me Mr. Cooper Kupp as my wide receiver 4. Loving my team so far. Kind of going with a 0 RB strat, but it is what it is. I was looking for Myles Gaskin to fall too, but it looks like he wouldn't have made it past you, and he took Chase Edmonds right there. So kind of unfortunate, but I'll just fill out my other positions, especially since you only start 2 running backs in this format.
Yep.
And I'm going to complete my stack
Love
with
it.
Dak, who I think should be the third quarterback off the board. I got him as QB5, and I pair him with CeeDee Lamb. I mean, this team is looking like a winner right now for me.
Yeah, it's looking like the type of team that I usually draft. It's kind of outside your wheelhouse because it's a banger, but you know. I was gonna say who I wanted to take. I just want to make sure who'd Quasi go with there. Let me peep that. All right, good shit. Good shit. Odell in the 7th. I mean, come on now. What are we actually doing here?
I mean, he's disrespected now.
He might be the most disrespected player in fantasy. Like, I know that he was like pooping on girls or whatever a couple months ago, and that rubbed people the wrong way. Or was he getting shit on or shitting on people?
He was getting shit on.
Oh, he wasn't shitting on people. He was getting shit on.
Yes, he was getting shit on by women.
Yeah, I mean, that's not my thing, but I mean, 7th round pick for a guy like Odell, arguably a top 4, top 5 wide receiver in terms of raw talent in the NFL. Potential for a high volume target share in the Browns offense all day, every day.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's disrespected as a player too, to be honest. Like, I think he's at minimum a top 10 wide receiver in terms of talent in the NFL.
Like at the stone minimum.
The stone minimum.
Even saying he's 10 would be like a little like, bro.
Nah, that's a hot take in 2021.
It shouldn't
believe it or not. That is a very hot take. I've seen people rank him as, like, just in terms of pure talent, like their wide receiver 25.
What?
Kind of disrespectful.
If you know who they are, send me their @ so I could roast them after the show. Like,
I mean, it's just a bunch of TikTok kids that, just spew nonsense. But I've seen a lot of
Tyreek and Devontae Adams. There's no clear cut case. Like, I know in fantasy we're taking Hopkins and Diggs and like Metcalf ahead of him, and you can make that argument for some of those guys, but the list is really short. Like, people forget.
Yeah, nah. Odell he's a different breed.
Yeah, he's that dude for real.
But
I've got kind of a little mini Browns correlation going here. I mean, Chubb and Odell kind of negatively correlate, but if the Browns as a whole are an offense that turns up, it could work out. Baker might be a guy I look to draft late, but I wouldn't reach for him. And for me, I'm looking really between two guys at this point. It's DJ Chark and it's Will Fuller. They're the type of players that I like to target here. And I have a ton of exposure to each. I guess I'm just going to go with DJ Chark, though, because I think that he's, on a better path to lead his team in targets. Will Fuller goes right after. That's a super solid pick. But, Will Fuller is going to have to fight for targets with Mike Gesicki, Devontae Parker, and potentially Jamar Chase.
Yeah. I definitely agree, but he's the type of receiver, you want to target in this format, big play threat, and he helps quarterbacks out by stretching the field, opens things up for other players. So should be a good addition for Miami, but I like DJ Chark a lot. I think he has the tools to be an alpha wide receiver 1. He's just been kind of limited by bad quarterback play his last 2 seasons. So with an elite prospect incoming, I mean, I think round 8 for DJ Chark is way too low.
Yeah. I mean, you really can't understate the difference between, Gardner Minshew and Mike Glennon, Blake Bortles types versus I don't think Blake Bortles ever overlapped with them, actually. But.
I'm gonna grab his teammate right there, right here.
Yo, your drafters is bugged, man. Maybe it's just your internet is dog water. I don't know.
Everything's bugged for me, bro. Can't ever just have anything good. Can't ever just just go through and a player that I've been coming around to a lot is Noah Fant in the 9th round as my tight end. Oh fuck! Well, I totally forgot I had George Kittle. So kind of messed up there, spending 2 top. Wow. That might be an L right there. Wow, I just fucked up. That's what you get for not paying attention.
That's not too bad, though. It could be worse. That could definitely be worse. Right? I mean...
Yeah, spending 2 of your top 10 picks on tight ends is very suboptimal, I think, especially when you only have one running back.
I'm gonna take a upside shot on Devontae Smith in the 9th round.
Oh God, that's funny. I wasn't even paying attention, to be honest.
It's all good, dude.
We all make mistakes, right? Yeah. All right. Let's get back on track here.
Look, you got your boy, David Johnson, lined up, ready for you. That's the pick that you're making whenever you can, right?
Nah, that's you. I've seen you you've swayed from the AJ Dillon train a little bit, I think.
I had so much exposure to him. Like I was legit like 40% a couple of weeks ago. So I've been just scaling back. I want to get that closer to 20. Like I still like him. And actually this is the type of team I would take him on potentially if he falls to 10-6. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not too beat up about it if I don't get him. Like at this point, I have a lot of exposure to the guys I want a lot of exposure to. I'm just differentiating and trying different roster builds at this point.
Yeah.
So what you got to do, I mean, when you're drafting 50 plus of these things, like, you know, you got to differentiate. That's something that I have been paying a lot more attention to this year after talking with some sharp, you know, volume best ball players. Like differentiation is important. Like your process can be great and the players and you know, draft values that you target can be great and all, but an injury can derail that. So you have to hedge your bets. You absolutely have to when you're, you know, talking, you know, over, I would say 30 or 40 drafts, you really have to start paying attention.
Yeah, definitely makes sense, especially drafting this early. I mean, injuries are going to be a major factor if they have like OTAs and preseason and mini camp and whatnot, which it's looking like they will. Only 3 preseason games this year, so that's, you know, obviously one less game than years prior. And yeah, I mean, hedging is definitely important if you're drafting at a high volume. But obviously, if you're in like 7 or 10 drafts, then I wouldn't worry too much. Yeah,
definitely not. In fact, I'd probably be more likely to just, you know, make more like bold conviction plays. If I'm in 10 or less, I'm building my core heavy and I'm, you know, really only swapping out the late rounds. I'm trying to hit the guys that I really think can be difference makers in the early rounds. David Johnson goes at 10-2, so it's a tough scene for you. You're gonna have to adjust your draft board a little bit.
Brandon Cooks at 10-1. I don't know if JM is watching or not, but come on, bro. Do better. Do better.
You hate Brandon Cooks, man, but we don't have to talk. We already
Stone worst pick in fantasy football.
Bro, we've been talking about Brandon Cooks for like 6 months now. Michael Gallup at 10-4. That's a value.
All right. I mean, there's still some solid wide receivers on the board. I mean, shit, you might be looking at just a Browns onslaught right here.
So are you saying that so that I won't go with AJ Dillon because you want him to follow you?
Nah, I mean,
well, doesn't matter because decisions made. I was really torn between Stafford there to get my Robert Woods stack solidified or taking AJ Dillon as my RB4. So I'm gonna just lock that in there.
I mean, I thought Jarvis Landry was
he's a super solid pick for sure. It's just, I mean, I don't really need him as a wide receiver 6. After the 5 wide receivers through 10 rounds, I'm looking for just more boom guys than safe guys like Landry. Don't get me wrong, though. I mean, you want to talk about another disrespected player, it's Jarvis Landry. This dude is disrespected every year of his career.
Yeah. Shit, bro. I don't know who to pick.
Oh,
right here.
Auto pick, boys. I think you're muted, King.
Oh, I'm about to reach. Okay. I don't know how that auto picked when I had him in my queue. Like you saw that, right? Like I put him in the queue before the auto pick got made. Whatever. This is why I can't do this, bro. I put him in the auto queue. Will be drafted by auto pick, and then it drafts me Deshaun Watson. What?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I was looking at my own rankings. I'm not even gonna hold you. I didn't see it, but
how does that make sense? Look, you'll be able to see it in the replay once the stream is over.
Yeah, I'm
how does that even make sense? I put it in the queue. If anybody's watching, you can comment. You saw it. I put Pollard in the queue and it drafted Deshaun Watson instead.
Did anybody see that? Drop a comment because I missed it. Joey could be capping right now. I mean, this man gets auto picked more than anybody I know. Like at a certain point, I don't feel that bad because like, why are you waiting so long to make your pick anyways, you know?
Got to evaluate all my options.
Oh, gosh. Didn't realize that's what we were doing.
Gotta look at the bigger picture, Ben.
Give me some Pittman vibes. It's my wide receiver 6. He could get, you know, nice 10 touchdown season this year, maybe. Wouldn't be shocked.
Shit, Deshaun Watson. That might be my highest on quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you want to do is get a guy who's going to play like 4 games, maybe.
Deshaun Watson is going to play 10 plus games.
I hate to say that I probably agree with you.
He is going to play in 2021. Just, I don't know. Just how I think it's going to go down. But there's still some solid tight ends on the board. Still some solid wide receivers. The up to solid picks by JM, Tunyon, and Waddle. I like that a lot right there. Mm-hmm. Running back is kind of weak at this point. So I'm kind of hurting right now. Just going to be targeting a lot of these like 0 RB candidates. But it is what it is. Spent 4 of my first 10 picks on 2 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends. Gotta love it. Solid roster construction on my part. Yeah. Team was looking good, and then I had a couple blunders back to back. So
yeah, I mean, you did low key fumble the bag. I'm not even gonna hold you. Alexander Madison at 12-3, going usually around the 16th round. You know.
I mean,
good shit, Farm Frog. God, I mean, might as well, right? Let me take Trevor. If you guys saw our latest YouTube video where we talked about, you know, some of these draft props, I mean, the thing about Trevor is that he's just on a winning streak right now. Finally lost his virginity. He was saving himself for marriage. Got married this month. Lost that V card to his wife, and I think he's going to carry that victory over into this coming NFL season.
I mean, Nyheim Hines right there, easy pick for me as my RB3.
Solid.
I'm gonna go with your boy on this turnaround in James Conner.
I don't hate that. Are you sure you're good with that though? I know that you and him have like some personal disagreements. Like,
we got some beef.
I mean, just from the tone in which you speak about him. Always downplaying his achievements and shit. What about Chuba?
Won't make that mistake again. I'll go with James Conner.
That's why you're RB4?
RB4. 0 RB build.
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, no, I still like my team, even with the couple blunders I had. Preferably want to have taken Watson right there. That's what kind of fucked me up. I'm not too mad at the Fant pick as my tight end too. I think he does have some upside this year, and that obviously solidified my tight end room, so I wasn't too mad with that. But the Watson that just messed everything up for me, to be honest. But you got to work through it, work through the pain.
I'm gonna go ahead and take my final running back for this team right here with Trey Sermon. He's just a guy that we've been increasingly high on the closer and closer we get to the draft. So 2 of my 5 running backs are rookies. I don't know how great I feel about that in, what's reportedly going to be a pretty weak rookie running back class, but I don't really include ETN in that. I mean, he's pretty safe in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people say that it's the worst running back class like ever.
But I mean, I've heard that too, but that's like speaking to the depth, right? Like I think the consensus is still that, Najee Harris and Travis Etienne are still, stone cold studs.
Yeah. It's just like after the top 3 guys, they all suck.
Right. Javonte in that tier as well, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, there's some whispers that Javonte Williams could sneak his way into the first round. I mean, if you bet over, 0.5 running backs last week, you're probably sailing to the money because I think realistically that line should be at 1.5 now.
Yeah, I mean,
someone's going
I think
first, guaranteed.
I think you could still get 1.5 at good odds right now too. So I don't know. I kind of like that bet now after all of the news that's came out, and a lot of these running backs are considered like safe picks in a pool of not so safe picks in terms of the entire 2021 class. So,
if you lose on some of these draft bets, because I mean we've been doing draft bet podcasts for the last 2 weeks. I know we've got some action out there in the streets. Are you worried that you're going to get stuck in Florida on your vacation and not be able to pay for your plane ticket back and just have to live on the streets in Miami?
I mean, is that a bad thing? You're saying that like I don't want to do that.
Oh,
I don't want to live in New York. What? I want to live in Florida. I want to live in Florida.
That's a bad take.
I'm a warm weather guy. This New York shit ain't for me. That's a bad take. How's that a bad take?
Bro, Florida?
Florida is exponentially better than New York.
What? That's insane, man.
Weather,
yeah.
right?
I don't fuck with snow, but I don't fuck with heat either, bro. I'm not trying to sweat. Look at me, dude. Like this pastiness, this isn't just the glare from my screen. Like I am literally this white. Like I burn like a fucking crisp, dude.
But you'll get used to it once you live somewhere. That's the thing. And obviously weather can affect your mood so much. True. When in the summer, that's when everybody's happy. Everybody's out. No seasonal depression, nothing like that you get from the winter up here. And all of that. So that's a big factor. Taxes for playing DFS. Honestly, I don't even know if it's legal there. I think it has to be, right? It's Florida.
Yeah, they do the King of the Beach there.
Yeah.
For DraftKings.
So no taxes on your winnings.
I don't think that's true.
No income tax.
Yeah, but that's not income tax, homie.
If
not to turn this into a fucking tax.
If you classify it as income tax, I think you can get away with it.
Big tax guy. Gabriel Davis, that's the best pick in every single draft. Literally. You're getting a top tier sophomore wide receiver in the pass happiest scheme in the NFL post John Brown departure. Like, God.
Hey, but yeah, I mean, there's no cons. I mean, there is some cons, like obviously hurricanes and whatnot, and then
alligators, the spiders down there, bro. I don't know if that's the thing that bothers you.
I'm not too scared about no damn spiders. I'll kill them. I kill them,
bro. Not when they're the size of your whole head.
I don't think they're the size of my head, Ben.
I don't know, bro. I do not know. I mean, at this point, this pick kind of makes itself, even though this is a guy that, again, I have so much exposure to that I'm trying to lean off of it. But how can I not take Daniel Jones here when I've got Saquon, Kenny G, and Evan Ingram? I mean, if those picks are working out like I'm hoping they will, Daniel Jones is having a good year. It's that simple.
Yep. I don't know. I don't like Daniel Jones though. Fuck Daniel Jones. Screwed us over last year.
Or you got to let that go. You got to let that hate go, or else it's going to hurt your pockets this year.
Hell nah.
I mean, if anybody has beef with Daniel Jones, it should be me. Like, as the original founder of the Darius Slayton, fantasy fan club, you could say, he single-handedly ruined Darius Slayton, aka Godius's value last year. But I let it go. I let that hate in my heart go.
Justin Fields in the 15th.
Solid. Tua quarterback run. Carson. Oh, yeah. We in a quarterback run, baby. So for me, I'm looking at this team. I'm good with my tight ends. Darren Waller is in the tier of player that I'm only going to be drafting 2. So I've got Waller and Ingram. I've got 5 running backs. When I use 3 of my first 4 picks on running back, I'm capping my limit at 5. So, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 5 picks left. I'm probably going to end this with 1 quarterback and 4 wide receivers to end this draft. So we'll see. I'm not going to reach for any position here. I'm just going to start taking the best player available, because if it comes down to it, I can take a low-owned quarterback in the final round, like Trey Lance or Mac Jones, or guys that are frequently available. So I'm not going to push it here. I'm just going to take the best player available for the next couple of rounds.
Yeah, I like that. Probably going to target another quarterback here, and how many more? 5. So quarterback, probably 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers for my team makes sense. Philip Lindsay.
AJ Green. Oh, we in this part of the draft. I mean, I'm sorry, bro, but you can't be taking T.Y. Hilton and AJ Green and Nelson Aguilar ahead of Terrace Marshall. Like,
I mean, there's some concerns with Terrace Marshall. I saw today that he could drop to like the 3rd round.
Yeah, you know who else dropped to the 3rd round?
Who?
Kenny Golladay.
So I'm gonna go.
Anything, but
I don't think this quarter. I mean, no, I could probably get Cam at the 17th round, but yeah. So I'll probably wait for that. But I'm gonna grab my guy, Tariq Cohen. Gonna be one of my highest home players.
Put him in the queue and get auto drafted Todd Gurley.
I just think that Tariq Cohen has the role that we want to target on PPR sites, and he is the highest paid Chicago Bears running back. He's going to play. It's just a matter of will he still be explosive coming off of a torn ACL, which, I'm not too concerned about players coming off injury, especially in this day and age with all of, the advances that we've obviously made in medicine and technology. So,
yeah, I mean, we talked about that all last year on the podcast. If you were fading players coming back, or I should say fading the concern of players coming back off injury in DFS last year, you were just literally making money every single week. Like, people were scared to play these guys. Their ownerships were always suppressed. It was a freaking printing press, dude. I mean, that was the biggest edge in DFS last year. Cohen usually drops further down. That's facts, but I'm not going to hold you guys, like viewers out there, Kwasi and JM. Y'all are on the stream. Y'all know who we like. I mean, I'm not mad at Joey taking him there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like an early pick for Cohen. But I think his range is at the end of the 16th to the beginning of the 18th. I think that's where he's going to go most of the time. So I just don't think he would have made it back to me at 18.9. I just don't. because I was going to take Cam as my QB3. I just think he has that rushing upside that we want in a quarterback. If the Patriots can get their pass game figured out, Cam Newton could be a very valuable fantasy asset this year for sure, I think. So I needed to secure my QB3 with Watson, kind of having an uncertain future at this point in time. But I guess if I think he's going to play a majority of games, I don't really need to draft a second quarterback with Watson and Prescott, but just go on the safer side, especially with 20 rounds. If this draft was only 18 rounds, I would have only went with 2 quarterbacks and hope for the best.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, honestly.
So
I don't have very much Watson exposure. I mean, that could bite me. It's hard for me to take him because I like the quarterbacks that are going in his range. Like I like Trevor, I like Joe Burrow. I even like Ryan Tannehill to an extent, especially when I have AJ Brown, who's a guy I'm pretty bullish on. So it's hard for me to go there. And usually by the time I would be considering Deshaun Watson, sort of ahead of that next tier quarterback, somebody usually takes him. So it's not that I have necessarily a strong take one way or the other. It's just hasn't really worked out for me. And, that'll happen sometimes.
well, we're coming to the end of the draft. So
3 rounds to go.
Not seeing any of the usuals in this. So, I mean, if you want your team review, just comment in the chat. But if not, we'll probably just go over our teams and
Quasi's in the chat. We'll definitely go over that team.
It's about Quasi and Jam are like we have a lot of newbies in this.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't see. Oh, wait.
20,
21. Okay. So he's about right where I'm at. I'll probably try and end with like 25 drafts, but it's going to be hard for me personally because, I have to work all day tomorrow. So hopefully can get in a couple more tonight.
We talked about it. There's about 1,000 entries to fill before Drafters is making $1 off this. Chances are they won't get there. Take, another 100, 120 drafts for them to get there. So it's looking like it's basically a free roll tournament at this point. I mean, it's all peer-to-peer, no take by the company. So, God, such a great tournament. You don't get this opportunity often in fantasy anymore.
Oops.
At this point, I'm going to go ahead and take Trey Lance. Quarterback 3, I think he's got some upside. If he goes to 49ers, that's an amazing landing spot. I mean, could be an L if he goes to the Falcons or something and isn't really a starter in year 1, but I don't know. I'm willing to take that risk in the 18th with 2 solid quarterbacks in T-Law and Daniel Jones. Well, I don't know if Daniel Jones is solid, but he should be starting at least.
I mean, yeah, I'm willing to take a shot on Trey Lance for sure. Going to draft an RB6 here. I think it makes sense for my team with really only one clear-cut guy. 6 is obviously the max amount of running backs you want to take, but Mike Boone falling to the end of the 18th is good, I think. Tevin Coleman, he could have got him with this last pick, so it's kind of a mistake on his part. Right here, I'm going to go with a wide receiver. I have a lot of options, to be honest. Just for shit. Who do I think is going to have, nah. I'm going to go with a stack. Jacoby and Cam. See, I think just because Kendrick Bourne and Aguilar got the money is why people view them as like better fantasy options. But I think Jacoby Myers, who already has a established connection with Cam Newton, is going to be the best fantasy wide receiver on the Patriots. Although that's not a very high bar. Let's throw that out there. It's not going to be a high bar.
What difference does that make when they trade for Jimmy G tomorrow? What is his relationship and chemistry with the backup quarterback have to do with anything?
Yeah. Follow the money, they say. Yeah. I agree. Fact. I'm just a Patriots fan. So I think I like to think that I know my team and how it's going to play out. Jacoby Myers is going to be the slot wide receiver that's going to play, 80-85% of snaps every single week, especially with Edelman retiring. And because he's not one of the highest paid players on the Patriots doesn't mean he's not going to be involved in the offense. And I mean, God, he was our best offensive player last year. So
best.
I think he's earned. I think he's earned the reps that he's going to get. Who was better than him?
I know someone who was more athletic than him.
Who's better?
From an athleticism standpoint, Damiere Byrd is, clear cut, but I think that pick was, that whole explanation you gave was just big cap, and you just took him because you guys have the same birthday.
Yeah, that also helps.
D Hendo in the 20th might be the best pick that I've seen. He has elite handcuff upside. If Akers goes down, he could be in a top 5 offense as the workhorse. Absolutely love Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, getting into this last round.
Yeah, facts. If I needed a running back, I honestly would have taken him in like the 17th or 18th, but I was filled up. Last pick vibes here for the boys. Great value, big facts, my man. All right. 10th wide receiver. I'm kind of backing off KJ Hamler. He's a guy I've been taking shots on, but I just don't know that Teddy Bridgewater is going to be capable of, supporting.
Drew Lock is probably the starter over Teddy.
No,
at this
absolutely
point.
Not. Absolutely
yes,
not. No.
Yes, they both suck.
Drew Lock is the worst quarterback in the league.
If he's the worst, Teddy's like the second or third worst.
Damn, Jam, you capped like that? No shot, right? Give me a deep threat with an elite quarterback. What you about to do here? What position you looking at?
Looking at wide receiver. I think I'm gonna just go with Sammy.
Yeah, he'll definitely pay dividends in week 1 and then be completely irrelevant for the rest of the season.
Hey, so. That week 1 game could be a winner, though.
Definitely could. All right, guys. If you want us to review your team, if you're in the stream, drop a comment. We can start off with Kwasi because we know he's in here.
I think he's the only one in here, so this will be quick. But, pretty solid fucking team. I'm not going to lie.
Yep, he went with the 3-5-9-3 build. That is solid, especially when you're starting. Same thing I did when you start with 3 running backs in your first 4 picks. Like, I'm capping at 5. It's that easy. And you can use that extra pick, if you will, to go with a third quarterback / third tight end when usually you're just diverting 5 picks between the 2. What do we got? We got Rodgers to Lazard as a stack. We got Brady to Gronk and Godwin as a double stack. We've got Big Ben to Chase Claypool, triple stack. Roster construction checks out. Everything about this team checks out. Shout out to Kwasi. This man's going to be a legit threat to take this tournament down with 114 entries and solid drafting.
Yeah, definitely agree. Pretty solid team. Henry, CEH, D-Hop, Godwin, Ayuk. Pretty solid fucking team.
We could do JM just even if he's not in here. This is a volume drafter. Maybe we'll learn something from his team. 149. What are you seeing here?
8 running backs is terrible.
6 wide receivers. Terrible.
Because you're like, it's just about how many running backs can you potentially start. And you can only potentially start 3. In most weeks, you're going to be starting 2 running backs. So, not rocking with this team, to be honest.
AFK draft. Who, Kwasi? You or JM? Was it JM? Because I wasn't really paying attention.
That would make sense.
There's no shot it was Kwasi. If he auto drafted into 3 stacks and an amazing construction, that would be different.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he means JM. So yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, 6 wide receivers is more offensive to me than 8 running backs. Like, That's not good. Like anything less than 8, and you're basically completely wrong.
So it was an auto draft. So
No way it was me. Yeah, we didn't think so, man. That team was too sharp to be an auto. What else we got, Joe? I mean, that's really everybody who I think is actually in this stream right now. If you want to take a look at our teams,
your squad.
What do you think?
Pretty solid. I like it. I like a lot of these wide receivers right here. Have a lot of Devontae Smith. I have a lot of Woods, a couple Kenny, a couple DJ Chark. So Darren Waller, Evan Ingram, great. T-Law, Danny Dimes, Trey Lance. I mean, got some upside at your quarterback position, and then running backs. You got 2, clear cut RB1s, and then Etienne, Dillon, and Sermon. So I mean, all around, pretty good team.
Yep, definitely. I mean, I nailed down the Giants, team stack, you could say, with a player at each position: Jones, Barkley, Galladay, Ingram, T-Law stacked with DJ Chark. I mean, yeah, this is a solid construction for a team, I would say. And, this was a team where I took some guys that I don't always take, but, at this point, like I said, we're differentiating our ownership. So,
yep.
Your team here, we got, what's your build? Let me just pull that up. We got a 3-6-9-2. So don't hate that. My only qualm with this team, I think, is, I think you botched it a little bit with, taking, like you said, 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends with your first 10 picks. Like that's a lot to invest into the onesie positions, especially when running back and wide receiver are the real difference making positions in this format. But all in all, I still think that the team turned out pretty good. Like you have a ton of upside, all over this team. Dak Prescott could be the QB1, Dalvin Cook could be the RB1, Jefferson, Lamb, Evans, Kupp, Shenault, Gabe Davis. That's just fire emoji at every part of that. Gabe Davis, George Kittle, Noah Fant. That's elite at tight end. So I actually like this team quite a bit.
Yeah, and I mean, the Deshaun Watson pick was an auto draft too, so it is what it is. But I liked how this team turned out, especially if you wait 10 plus rounds to draft your RB2. You just want to get these backups that have, or that could have roles in the receiving game, like Hines, Cohen, Pollard, and then if their starters go down, I mean, it's just to the moon.
Yeah, I mean, these are the running backs that I target as well. I mean, if you're not taking your RB2 until round 11 and you're landing Pollard, Hines, Connor, Cohen, like, god damn, that's fire. That's how you do a 0 RB build right there.
Yeah, but think that's all we got for the stream. So
all we got for the people. If you've been tuning into these drafts over the last couple of weeks, these streams, we appreciate it. Like I said, Joey's going on vacation, so we'll be back in, say 2 weeks from now. I might do a stream next week with a guest, who knows? But, like I said, man, appreciate it. Hopefully you guys continue attacking this overlay over the next couple of hours. We have less than 24 hours before this tournament closes and, a ton of entries left to get in there. So, keep drafting, keep getting that overlay. Stay with the sharp picks, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Appreciate you watching.